module 9. Excitedly, we are getting to the end of this class, and I hope you've learned a lot. Now, I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks that you can use to create responsive designs and rules or principles that act as guidelines to creating better designs. Now, we're going to talk about mobile app design principles and guidelines. And the first one we want to talk about is button. How do you create a perfect button? There are some key principles that will help you create perfect buttons for a mobile application. And the first one is adequate touch size. What does this mean? It means creating a button that every thumb, whether big or small, can actually fit into. Now, you need to understand that not all your users have the same thumb as you. Some of them have bigger thumbs and some of them have smaller thumbs. Imagine your button is small and you have somebody with a bigger thumb trying to tap on that button. It could be frustrating that they will leave your application, and that's a bad user experience. So let me teach you how to create a perfect touch button. The recommended touch target size is around 14 by 14 pixel or 9 millimeter in order to accommodate different finger. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means. Now, remember what we said about creating buttons. You don't use rectangle. You use what we call auto layout. So the first thing I want to do is to create a text and name it button. Now, on this my button, I just have to hit on Shift A to make it an auto layout. Now, I will create a button of 44 height. So I'm just going to drag this here and then change my height to 44. And then on my padding, horizontal padding, I'm going to change it to 44 and press enter. So here is 44, here is 44. This is the perfect button size. So I'm just going to add color to it by clicking on fill and choosing my color, changing the black to white so the text can come up. So to make this edge better, I can just add round corner of 6. And here, this is a very good button for touch, for mobile application, and for your finger to touch everywhere. So let's move to the second option, which is allow for padding. It means providing enough padding around a button or around group of buttons so you do not tap on the next element. So let's say you have, let's create something. So let's create a frame of a mobile application, and then let's maybe make a circle here, right? And then a write-up that says view the world with the lens of our application. So I'm going to modify this to 36, which is actually very big. So I'm going to use 24, change it to regular, align it to center, reduce my font, my line height by 32. And then I have my button here. I can extend this button if I want by holding alternate and then duplicating it. All right, like so. So now if I have these two buttons, the distance between this and this should be a minimum of 16. So it can give room for touch. So I can touch on this one without touching this one. All right. So that is what the second one actually mean. Now let's go to the second principle. All right, let's go to the second option, which is font type and size. I know we've talked about this a lot, and we can't overemphasize about this. So the first thing is readability. Choose a font type that is legible on mobile screens, especially in smaller sizes. Sans serif font like Roboto, Helvetica, or Arial are commonly used due to their readability on digital display. Now, the fonts that we talked about are fonts that mostly will be on Figma. So let's just look at them. Helvetica. Okay, let's look at Roboto. So this is what Roboto look like. This is Roboto font. And as you can see, it's actually very readable and clear. Now, the second thing is font size. Opt for a font size that allows comfortable reading without straining the eyes. Now, this looks good on a mobile already. So this font size is perfect. Now, except you want to go down, you can go to 16, which is still okay for a subtext, not as a header. Then the next thing is hierarchy. So hierarchy say establish a clear visual hierarchy within fonts to guide users' attention. So what that means is if I use this one to be welcome to our world, I can increase this to become 36 and then make it medium or semi-bold. Let's use 32. Now this looks like a header. Now if we want to have a semi-header, I can now make this one 20 or as low as 18. Now this tells me that this is the first one for visual hierarchy. This should be seen first before this one. So that explains hierarchy. If you're still confused about hierarchy, we talked about it in our first module where we talked about the principle of UI UX design. And the last one is contrast, which talks about visibility of text and readability between each text. Now, taking your color to something closer to your background will not be readable by your customers. And then you know that's actually a bad user experience. So yes, guys, that is the basic principle of mobile app design. Now, there are some other guidelines that are out there, but I'm going to place the resources in this module. Thank you. Let's jump over to responsive design.